Some of you may be watching this because you enjoy furniture restorations. Others may be here for tips regarding fixing furniture that has been in your family and has sentimental value. Also, there are others who are here for tips regarding furniture flipping. So in this video, I'll try and provide content for all viewers. For several months, I've been picking up furniture alongside the road for a mini-series I'll call Roadside Rescues. But first, I want to show you something close to my hometown here in Wisconsin. This is very close to where I grew up here in Wisconsin. It's one of the highest points of elevation in the area. No, it's not one of these, it's one of these. The challenge for this video is to encourage you to find pieces that are destined for the landfill and find ways to reuse them. I found this table in the trash before the snowfall, and I thought I could probably do a few things to improve the quality of it. This is a very basic mid-century end table or side table made by Mersman Furniture Company. It has a laminate top and a faux drawer. At the time of manufacturing, Mersman was at the low end of quality regarding manufacturing. However, by today's standards, these pieces are still very well built. Mersman pieces don't hold much value and are very common. If you've collected any mid-century furniture, you've probably come across at least a few Mersman pieces. I often find these in the trash or at thrift stores for $5 or $10. Mersman pieces were made in America and are often not very valuable because at the peak of manufacturing, Mersman made more pieces than any other furniture company. This is about a 4-hour restoration, so if you do find these pieces for free or even $5 or $10, they can yield $100 to $150 depending on the area you live in. Over the years, I've tried to research the information regarding these numbers following the Mersman name, but I still have not come up with a solution, so if you know the answer to this, please let me know in the comments. As always, I'll check to see if this hardware is brass and therefore should be non-magnetic. As I was working on this project, I realized I have 4 other Mersman tables from the same era, so I thought I would show another example. These pieces often lacked unique styling features, which made other mid-century pieces popular consistently through the years. I'll start removing the old finishes with the carbide scrapers, and I often get asked in the comments why I choose to scrape versus just sanding or using a stripper. The carbide scrapers work very well for removing most of the finishes and also helps cut down on the waste between the sandpaper and the stripper. It also allows me to cut right to the sanding without having to wait for these pieces to dry from the stripper. For the detailed side skirts, I'll use premium stripper. This I'll let sit for 15 minutes, come back, scrape off the old finishes with a plastic spatula, and then finish by sanding to 220 grit with the orbital sander. I had purchased walnut veneer for several other projects, but I will have enough to cover the laminate for this piece. Occasionally I get comments regarding placing walnut veneer over laminate, and I don't see anything wrong with it. I've seen it done many times. I've done it many times, have never had any issues. But if you do have a logical explanation as to why you shouldn't, please let me know in the comments. I just finished scuff sanding the laminate for the veneer application. I don't know why, but veneer application is intimidating for so many people. It's very simple to do, and I hope this project will encourage you to take on a project of your own. I'll cut this piece, leaving about a 1/2 inch overlay on all sides. I'll secure this with DAP contact cement and clamp it overnight. As always, proper safety equipment is advised, especially using a respirator for this contact cement. I'll apply a layer of contact cement to both the back side of the veneer and the laminate top. I'll let this get tacky and then apply the veneer. For any pieces of veneer larger than this, I would typically use dowels to align the piece. Once you make contact, you only get one shot. For this piece, it wasn't too difficult to align. Once aligned, I'll secure this with a J-roller. The J-roller isn't necessary, you could just use a board, but I do apply a lot of veneer, so this was a good investment. Cleaning the hardware for this piece will be very simple. It will take about 30 seconds. We have just one handle. It is brass. I'll dip this in water and I'll use Barkeeper's Friend. I'll sprinkle lightly with Barkeeper's Friend, wipe off with a damp cloth for about 10 to 15 seconds, and rinse in water. I won't spend much time on these other pieces that go under the table, but I didn't feel right putting these back on the way they were, so I'll spend a few minutes to clean them up with the wire brush. I often get asked what I use to protect brass after polishing. I recently picked up this lacquer specifically for brass, but I needed a sacrificial piece for scientific research. All these pieces survived this experiment, so I will continue to use this lacquer. To cut off the excess veneer, I usually use a flush mount router bit, or I'll turn the piece upside down and use an X-Acto knife. In this case, the top is beveled, so I'll have to work from the top. I'll clamp a straight edge, make several passes with the X-Acto knife, and then finish with this small chisel set. Choosing the final finishes for any piece will always be a matter of preference. For this piece, alright, that was a bad joke, I'm not going to paint this. For this piece, I did apply mineral spirits to see what a clear coat would look like. In my opinion, this is too yellow or orange, so I'm going to go with a dark stain for the walnut. I'm applying Minwax gel stain in walnut with a foam brush. Typically, I would apply the stain to the entire surface before wiping this off, but I was afraid of this soaking in too much because this did not receive a pre-stain conditioner. Overall, the entire surface turned out well. Because these pieces were often a mixture of poplar, elm, walnut, and other woods, it's often difficult to match the staining colors without a tinted lacquer. For this, I'll use a toner lacquer in walnut to try and tie these pieces together. I'll finish with Armor Seal, which is a wipe-on poly, pre-thinned, and then I'll go over the entire piece with Howard Feed and Wax. We're coming to the end of this simple project. I hope you've enjoyed, and if you feel that I've earned your subscription, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're welcoming a number of new subscribers from the last video, so thank you for the new support. Thank you for those who have been faithful since the beginning, and I'm looking forward to 2 very exciting projects for next week, one including a YouTube challenge with 20 other YouTubers. This is another Ugly Duckling challenge, so stay tuned for that next week. If you haven't already, consider checking out my tool restoration channel, Mad City Restorations. I have several amazing thrift store finds coming to that channel very soon. Looking forward to seeing all of you in the comments once again, and goodbye for now.